Be honest, have you ever felt like no matter how much you try to save, your money just disappears? 1 minute you get paid and the next your bank account is empty. And here's the worst part, things aren't getting cheaper. If you don't make smart money moves now, you'll just keep working harder for less, drowning in bills and feeling trapped in your own life. So in this video, I'll show you 8 realistic, doable ways to cut costs, pay off debt, and finally start growing your savings without feeling miserable. We can't deny in recent years the cost of living has been rising rapidly all over the world. The US saw a 2.6% inflation rate in February 2025, the highest in over a year, from 2.5% in the previous months. The UK with 19.1% at its peak in March 2023, and in Germany 2.8% in February 2025, with an all-time high of 21.2% in March 2023. And these are just 3 countries we took a look at. But what if I told you that the rising cost of living is just one piece of the puzzle? You might not realize it, but you're probably wasting hundreds on food every month. Now more than ever, it's important to learn about grocery store psychology, because stores trick you into spending more with things like buy one, get one free deals that make you buy things you don't need, eye-level shelves which have the most expensive brands, and checkout aisle traps, hello $5 chocolate bars. But there are several tricks you can make use of to outsmart the system. First, make a grocery list and stick to it. No impulse buys. Second, buy store brand items. They're often made in the same factories as name brands. Shop with cash. When you physically see the money leaving, you spend less. And most important, avoid shopping when you're hungry. It's a classic grocery store psychology trick. Shoppers are more likely to make impulse buys when they're hungry or buy more than they intended. Sometimes supermarkets even intentionally set up these snack or try out our new XYZ product to make you hungrier than you are, basically to increase your appetite, because it will help fill your basket and fill their pockets. Studies have actually shown that hunger can increase food-related spending by up to 20%. If you cut your grocery bill by $40 a week because you take a more intentional buying approach, that saves you $2,000 a year. Have you ever gotten a tax refund or a bonus and thought, ooh, free money, only to wonder a week later where it all went? Yeah, me too. We treat unexpected cash like a lottery win instead of an opportunity. If we spend it all without setting some aside for rainy days, we can easily lose even more money later down the line. Let's take a look at Sarah for a moment. She just received a $40,000 sales bonus after closing a massive deal that was initially thought to be lost. Naturally, she wants to treat herself. She worked hard to get that deal over the finish line. Without a second thought, she spends the entire lump sum on a luxury trip to Hawaii. She has an amazing time and comes back well-rested, ready to close her next big deal. A few weeks later, her car breaks down and the repair bill comes to $1,500. Since she doesn't have any savings, she puts it on her credit card. Her credit card has an average APR of 20%. If she only makes fixed monthly payments to pay off the $1,500 balance within 1 year, she'll end up paying about $167 in interest on top of the principal. That's $1,667 in total, just to cover an expense that could have been easily managed with a better financial plan. You might think, well, $167 is not a big amount, but that's only half of the story. Here's the real kicker. What if she had invested that $167 instead? If Sarah had put that money into an S&P 500 index fund, which has historically returned about 10% annually, in 25 years, it could have grown to $1,809. That's money she could have had working for her instead of vanishing into credit card interest. And it gets even crazier. What if she committed to investing just $50 a month on top of that initial $167? Over 25 years, at the same historical 10% return, her investment would grow to approximately $68,151. That's the power of smart money decisions. What you can do instead to enjoy that hard-earned bonus and become financially secure is the following. 50% goes to debt because past you probably spent some money you didn't have. 20% goes into savings because future you will thank you. And 30% is for fun because, let's be honest, you still want to enjoy life. These percentages are just a guideline and you can align them with your personal goals. This way, you actually can get ahead instead of having just a temporary spending spree. I used to buy coffee every morning on my way to work back then. The lunchtime hit and I spent another $15 on a meal. I thought, well, I'm just spending $5 here and $15 there, but then I actually did the math. A $15 lunchtime 5 times a week, that's $3,600 a year. A $5 coffee 5 times a week, that's another $1,200 gone. I'm not saying you should never eat out or grab a coffee from a coffee shop, but there's a more balanced approach. Pack lunch 3 times a week. That would save you $2,160. Make a coffee at home, another $1,000. That's real money you could be using for something way better, like saving for your emergency fund, pay off debt faster, or save for a down payment for a house. Do you ever scroll through Netflix for 30 minutes and then give up because nothing looks good? Meanwhile, you're also paying for Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO, and maybe watching one show a month. A more money-saving approach to this is to rotate your streaming services. For example, month 1 Netflix, month 2 Hulu, and month 3 HBO. Additionally, you can consider to switch to a free ad-supported streaming platform. By cutting just 2 subscriptions, you can save at least up to $240 a year and still enjoy the shows you love. In fact, according to Deloitte's 2023 Digital Media Trend Survey, many consumers are actively reconsidering their streaming habits. The report found that 26% of consumers canceled a paid entertainment subscription to save money, while 19% dropped at least one paid entertainment subscription and switched to a free ad-supported service. We can observe that people are becoming more intentional about how they spend on streaming platforms. I used to think that I had a decent phone plan until one day when I happened to speak to a friend. We were comparing bills and she looked at mine like I was personally keeping my phone company in business. Turns out that she was paying half of what I was, and we had the exact same coverage. Most people, including me, stay with the same provider for years and are overpaying without even realizing it. Right now, companies are desperate for customers, which means that you can switch and save anywhere from $20 to $50 a month. That's over $600 a year. All I did was compare plans and switch to a low-cost provider that used the same network, because honestly, loyalty to corporations won't save you money, but making smart decisions will. So check out alternative providers and compare plans. I guarantee there will be a better deal waiting for you. The other day, I had a conversation with a friend who told me that he signed up for a gym membership that's $79 a month. It was part of his New Year's resolution to finally get into the habit of working out regularly. He promised himself he would go at least 3 times a week. But then life happened and he ended up going a grand total of twice in 6 months. Soon he realized that he was spending $474 for absolutely nothing. New Year's resolutions are great, but let's be honest for a second with ourselves. Do you really make use of that gym membership, or is it just a waste of money? 3 years ago, I had that same goal of building a workout routine that lasts. But I decided to take a different approach. Since I work from home, I realized that leaving the house to go to the gym would add unnecessary friction to my habit of working out consistently. It would take up too much willpower to get started. So I removed that step entirely. Instead of a gym membership, I found free workouts online and spent a one-time investment of $100 for dumbbells and some workout clothes. This way I saved money, actually stuck to my workouts, and had zero excuses to skip my routine. Once you've built that habit and it becomes part of your lifestyle, then you can always decide to progress to a gym if that's something you want. So if you really haven't used your gym membership in months, why not cancel it? You can start working out from home or always go back to the gym when you're ready. But there's only so much money you can save. So the next tip will be an even more important one to impact your savings. Most people skip the one thing that actually makes a difference: tracking your money. I know budgeting sounds boring, but hear me out for a second. One of my friends, let's call her Sarah, had no idea where her money was going. She made decent money, but somehow her account was always close to zero at the end of the month. So I gave her one advice that changed everything for her. Write down every dollar you spend for just 1 month. Fast forward 30 days and she was shocked. $150 on subscriptions she didn't use. $280 on quick takeout meals. $90 on things that she couldn't even remember buying. That's over $500 gone without even realizing it. So here's a little challenge for you. Track your spending for the next 30 days. Just see where your money is going. Because if you don't know where it's going, you can't control it. A lot of people in their 20s and early 30s are starting to reevaluate their careers. Maybe they're realizing that their current job is not really fulfilling, or they feel like they've hit a salary ceiling. They have squeezed their budget for living costs to the max, have implemented all the cutting cost tricks out there, and yet are still being left with nothing to save at the end of the month. If that's you, it might be time to find a higher paying job. For me, I did 2 major career changes. One of them was switching from a software sales role to a partnerships role, and it ended up giving me a 15% salary increase. Sometimes it's not just about asking for a raise, but making a strategic move to a position that offers more growth or a better pay. A career change can really boost your financial future and overall well-being if you put in the work. Let's put it into perspective and say you have a yearly salary of $65,470, which is the average American salary according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Now, if you were to get a 15% increase with a switch in roles, that's an additional $9,820 a year. Over the course of 12 months, that's an extra $818 each month. So what does this mean for your financial goals? That extra income could help you pay down debt faster, take that backpacking trip to Asia you've been dreaming of, or even fund a gap year to travel, focus on personal growth. It's a powerful boost to your plan, and it can help you to reach your goals even quicker. So don't be afraid to reassess your goals and take that step. Whether it's networking, upgrading your skills, or seeking out opportunities that align more with where you want to be, taking the leap could make all the difference in the long run. Make sure to check out these videos up here for more helpful tips on how to use money as a tool to build your dream life. And if you found this video helpful, it would mean the world to me if you give this video a thumbs up, hit the notification bell as well as the subscribe button, and join the community as it grows. So see you next time. Bye.